Hello, 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 everyone. Yes, I just started. Hello, Sajad. Hello, Flash and Crystal. Oh, thank you, Crystal. It's just a suit jacket. That's it. Hello, Peter. So if you have questions, then you can write your questions in the chat. And if you write your questions in the chat, then I will look at them. And if I can answer them, then I will. However, I would like to try to do something different today. I do the same thing all the time, and it does get a little boring for me sometimes. So yeah, if you guys want to talk about anything else, that would be great. I get so tired of talking about how to improve your writing or how to improve your pronunciation or how to explain the difference between past perfect and past simple. So it would be nice to do something else. They do make business casual so easy. That's right. That's why I like just a jacket. That's all I gotta do. I have a t-shirt and jeans. Now I put on a jacket. Oh, look how nice he looks. It's magic. Can I speak a little bit about phrasal verbs? Sure. Phrasal verbs are an important part of English, but they are a difficult part of English. Phrasal verbs are improvised language, which means that when you put these two words together, or three words, or whatever the phrase is, that becomes a new meaning. So it takes the meaning of those individual words and puts them together, and now it has a new meaning. So it's very difficult to learn because they don't have any rules. There is no rule to learn phrasal verbs. There is a method that you can learn. It's not the best. I mean, there are not too many great choices of how you can learn phrasal verbs. But the one thing that you should try is to learn all of the phrasal verbs in groups. Meaning, choose a word like the word get. Choose the verb get, and then do all of the phrasal verbs that use the word get. Get in, get on, get into, get through, get over, get with. And learn all of the phrasal verbs that use the word get. And the second thing I would say is learn the phrasal verbs that you like, the ones that you think will be very useful for you, right? So, for example, get over. Get over can be a few things, but one meaning of get over is, for example, if you have a breakup. Maybe you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you're very sad. And your friend will say, oh, hey, get over it. Get over it means move past the problem, right? Or you could say, I just broke up. I'm still getting over it. I'm still getting over it, which means I'm still recovering. I'm still sad. Okay? Vicky, hello, Vicky. Vicky, I saw your messages, Vicky. And I do want to talk to you about your proposition. Let's talk more at some point. Okay, I did read some of your message. I didn't read everything yet, but I will read them, and I do want to talk to you about some possibilities. Okay. Okay, and the next question is what? Do I think that IPA or phonics is more useful tool for language learners? I definitely think phonics are more useful. IPA is great and not great because I feel that IPA is, it's like you're telling people, hey, you want to learn English? Oh, well then you need to learn this language first. It's called IPA. And to me, that seems like an awful lot of work. Now, is it very effective and efficient and very, very well defined? Yeah, it is. But most native learners don't learn IPA. If we don't learn it, we don't need it. If we don't need it, you don't need it. It can be useful. Here's my experience. My experience is that there are some people who have a very particular mind. They're very obsessive and compulsive, and they like details. They are great with IPA. So if you are that kind of person, then IPA might be great for you. But for almost everybody else, I think IPA will feel like you're trying to learn a language to learn English, which is weird. So I think it's very useful in some cases, but I think for most people it's more work than is useful. Okay, next question. Hello, Valerie. You've learned thousands of phrasal verbs, but you're still struggling because they're not limited. Right, but, Flash, when you are learning words, you need to remember that words are like notes in music, right? And one note by itself is not a song. But when you put the notes together, that's when you have a song. If you put them together the right way. So, you need to think about learning the notes so that you can learn songs. Don't just learn the notes just to learn notes. So that's what you're doing with phrasal verbs. You're learning a lot of phrasal verbs, but for what? You don't have any songs. You can't use them. So instead of doing that, use the phrasal verbs, learn the phrasal verbs, and use the phrasal verbs that are useful to you. That's your songs. Those are the songs that work for you. Learn those, and then you'll build from there. But start with the songs that work for you. Okay, do you understand? I'm not talking about songs. I'm talking about if you learn words, there should be a use for them. Not just learning them to hope that you can use them someday. No. You need to imagine how you're already going to use them. Then you'll remember them. Your mind is not a dictionary. If you're just learning words, but you don't put any purpose to the words, then you will not remember them. Okay? You feel like IPA doesn't always distinguish sounds as well and can make pronunciation worse at times. Yeah, there are a few cases where that's true, especially where certain people get kind of stuck believing that a certain word or a certain sound is a certain way, and then they become very rigid about the way they pronounce things. I've had that a couple times where I've had to argue with a student about the way a sound is supposed to be made because of IPA. IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Gulzarish. So, yeah, remember, guys, you have to learn with practicality. Okay? You guys, your brain is a tool. Your brain is a tool. But you have to learn how to use that tool. Most people don't. That's what education is. Education is learning how to use the tool of your mind. That's what it's supposed to be. Education is not just supposed to be a bunch of facts that you remember. Education is supposed to be the development and training of the tool that is in your mind. That's what you're working on. Okay? Hello over there in my YouTube, Rodolfo de Oliveira. That's a nice name. I like that name. Hello from Brazil. Hola. Hello, Sushi. Don't just learn facts. Train your mind. The facts are something that you use to train your mind, right? So when you're learning words or ideas, you can't just... That's why memorizing is so stupid. You're just trying to put information in your head with no context. You're trying to put information in your head with no purpose or practicality. So, can you imagine if I tried to walk around with a dictionary in my hands and I have to use the dictionary to find the words before I want to use them? Can you imagine if that's what language was? Is that a very effective way to use language? Wait a minute, let me show you. Here's a dictionary. Okay, now I want to speak to you, so before I can speak to you, I have to find the words that I need to use, and then I can speak to you. So wait a minute, let me find the right words. Let's see, oh, too far. Okay. Okay, there's the word I. Now I need to say, I want. Oh, want, W, I gotta find the W's. That's what you're doing when you memorize words. You're making a dictionary in your head. It's useless. That is not how you use words. That's not how you learn words. That's not how words will be... That's not how words will become part of your language. Okay? Your mind is not a dictionary. Don't memorize. It's useless. Useless. What are collocations? Yeah, I know, that's such a funny word, right? Why do they call it that anyway? I'll tell you in just a minute. So collocations are words that are natural, that go together. Like, for example, when we talk about coffee, sometimes we say, oh, that's strong coffee. Okay, that's a collocation, all right? Or the rain. What kind of rain is it? It's heavy rain. Heavy rain. That's a collocation. All right, so there are these natural kind of ways that words go together, all right, or they seem natural once you're in the language. But they are a little I think they're a little confusing because, well, one, because the name doesn't really help you to understand what they are. So, for example, the word collocation actually means something that you put together. You place them together. So that's what it means. Strong coffee. Oh, let's put those together. That's nice. Yeah. Heavy rain. Oh, let's put those together. That's nice. Right? So those are the kinds of things that you know, it becomes a little confusing because the word collocation doesn't sound like anything. Doesn't tell you, oh, these are just two words that are get together. If you look at the original meaning, then maybe you'll understand. All right, next question. You notice something else? American and Canadian people who use phrasal verbs too much, but other countries like Australia and England, for example. I don't think I would agree with that, Flash. I don't think that that's a by-country thing. I don't think you can say that people in Canada or people in America do it more. I think that's more, some people use phrasal verbs more often and some people don't. I don't think that that's by country. I think that's more by we'll call it linguistic commonality, which means those are the words that are super common, so they use them more often. And the more often they are used, the more often that they are used. So it begets itself. It means it propels itself. Yeah. So, but yeah, don't worry too much about phrasal verbs. There are many other things to worry about in English that are more important than phrasal verbs. How can you find your purpose? That's a big question. Find your curiosity and follow it. Whatever you're curious about, the things that you think are really interesting, something that you think, wow, I like that. I want to know more about that. That's something that you can follow. And when we think about passion, purpose is passion, right? When we think about passion, we think about fire, right? Wow, he's got such fire, such passion, right? Fire has smoke, doesn't it? Usually, fire has smoke, and you can smell the smoke. I smell fire. Where's that fire? Oh, the fire must be over there. I smell the smoke. Then there's the fire, must be over there. Curiosity is like the smoke. If you follow the curiosity, you will find the fire. That's your passion. So find your curiosities and start learning about them and asking more questions and learning more and asking more questions and learning more. And the more you do something, the more talented you are at that thing. Okay, so if you do something for 10,000 years, you'll be pretty talented, won't you? So that means if you do something for 10 years, you'll be pretty talented. So start. Start now. 10 years. It goes by very quickly, believe me. All right? That's the first thing I will say is find your curiosity, follow your curiosity. That will help you find your passion. And then people ask, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Life has no meaning until you give it meaning. Do something meaningful, and now life has meaning. If you sit there and do nothing like a rock, then life has no meaning. If you do something meaningful, now life has meaning. Okay? Thank you, Vicky. You're too nice. Thank you for the gifts. Hello, Romana. Okay, so if you are new, everybody, follow. I'm a teacher. I'm here all the time. 84,000 people follow me to help them learn English. Okay? When learning a language, you need to train everything: your brain, your tongue, your listening skills. Yes, however, your brain is the master control device for your whole body. Training your mind is so important. This is why I find it so funny. How many of you go to the gym every week? How many of you work out every week? You work out your body. But how many of you work out your mind? Making your body stronger is like making the car faster with a better engine, right? But you still need a driver to drive that car. That's the brain. You need to train your brain to be able to use that power well. So if you go to the gym and you work out all the time and you're working out your body, but you're not working out your mind, you're building a car, but you are a bad driver because you don't work out your mind. Hello, Titan. You don't need to apologize for coming again, Titan. You just need to remember that this is a classroom. When you come to a classroom, there are many people, and they all want help. So you should remember that you're not the only one in the room, that everybody is looking for help. Okay, so if you're dominating too much, nobody else can get any help. Okay, Titan? So just please, when you have a question, ask your question politely and then patiently wait. Okay? And if I can answer your question, I will. If I can't, I won't. Okay? Okay, and what is your question? Why don't we use do in affirmative sentences in simple present tense? Okay. That was your big question from the other day? Okay, hold on a minute. Where is my note on that? There it is. Oh, whoops. Right. So your question is, why don't we use do in affirmative sentences in simple present tense? Okay, so I love questions like that because it's like, what? What's that mean? I don't even know what that means. So do is usually for questions and for negatives and for acting as an auxiliary verb that helps carry the tense. All right, now what does that mean? So, for example, the main verb already usually has the tense information in it, right? So if the main verb already has the tense in it, then do is just a helping verb, right? It's an auxiliary verb, all right? And so it's just for emphasis. It just makes it stronger or more, okay? So when I say, do you like pizza? Does she like pizza? That's where do is an auxiliary verb, okay? I do not like pizza. She does not like pizza, right? Now, we also use it when you want to make someone, to show more emphasis. Like, if you're telling me something and you think I don't believe you, then you'll say, then maybe I'll say, I do believe you. I do. So if I say I believe you, that's one thing. If I say I do believe you, that's stronger. I do believe you. Okay? So, yeah, I do that. That's right. So, I do the laundry, right? But that adds, I'm doing the laundry, I do the laundry. It's a little formal when you say it that way. It's a little, you don't need to use it. It's not necessary. Okay? So, I hope that you understand that. You don't use do because the main verb already tells you. Okay? And so the do is not actually a verb. It's an auxiliary verb. It's different. It's just a helping verb. All right? It can be added. You can add it, but if you add it, it just means that it's like extra emphasis, but it's not needed. All right? Right, they're auxiliary verbs. That's right. Are there any Russian students in your school, and how do they behave? Well, I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean in American schools, I'm sure that there must be. Sure, there are Russian immigrants here. We have immigrants from everywhere, so there must be somewhere some Russian students who are in school here. I'm sure they behave just like any other students. Students are students, really. That's my experience. Around the world, I have learned that culture plays a role, but kids will be kids. Okay, next. What does face the music mean? Face the music means that you're in trouble. You did something wrong, and now you have to be responsible for it. So, maybe you accidentally broke your mom's favorite vase, right? You accidentally broke your mom's favorite vase, okay? And when she comes home, you will have to face the music. That means you'll have to tell her, Mom, I broke your favorite vase. That's facing the music, okay? It means you are admitting that you did something wrong and you are taking responsibility for it, okay? Julia says, please tell me how to stop being shy to speak. I know it's a stupid question. No, Julia, it's not a stupid question. It's a very good question. It's a common thing. Julia, it's not about language. Your problem is shyness. Shyness is a problem for many, 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 many people around the world. Shyness is a funny thing because we treat shyness like it's not a real problem. Like shyness is a quality that's okay, almost like If you're shy, then you're humble. But no, that's not true. Shyness is not humility. Shyness is fear and lack of confidence. Okay? Shyness is fear and lack of confidence. That's what shyness is. All right? Now, there are other things that we do that are bad qualities that we don't accept. Like, for example, laziness. Some people are lazy, but we never justify laziness, do we? We don't justify laziness like it's okay. We all know that it's not a good thing to be lazy, right? But why do we say that it's okay to be shy? We say it's not okay to be lazy, but we say it's okay to be shy. Why? Shyness does not help you at all. Shyness does not benefit you at all. It hurts you. And if you're a woman, it hurts you even more. And the reason why is because in every culture, women already are more hesitant to speak. So in a classroom, if I have a classroom of boys and girls, the boys always want to raise their hands. Almost all of them, not all of them, but many of the boys, they want to raise their hands. But the girls will be less confident to raise their hands. They wait. They look around. So just being a girl, unfortunately, means many girls feel like they can't raise their hand. They're shy. They shouldn't. Whatever. So you should. Shyness is a bad quality like laziness. It's not a good thing. You need to learn how to remove it. It's not helping you, and it's not humility. It's not being humble. That's different. Okay? Being humble is good. Having humility is good. That has nothing to do with shyness. Okay? So, here's what I will tell you, Julia. If you don't speak, then you don't practice. So when you're shy, you are missing opportunities to improve. Every time you're shy, you missed an opportunity to improve. Okay? So there's my answer. Hello, Lynn. Leo, thank you. Hello. Hello, Raham and Michelle and Juan. Hello, Mo. I don't know how to start my graduation project. It just feels so hard. Would you like to give me some advice? Your graduation project for what? For high school? For college? For what kind of a graduation project are we talking about? Okay, Ace Titan, Ace Titan, Ace Titan. I already answered the question 10 minutes ago. You just don't listen. You keep typing. Please answer my question. Please answer my question. Please answer my question. This is why I removed you yesterday. You need to learn how to be patient. I saw your question, but now you have written it 100 times and now I'm upset. Again. Titan. Again. I already answered your question. If my answer is not good enough for you, go ask someone else. Okay? All right? I feel like you have never been in a classroom, Titan. I feel like you have never been in a classroom. It's very, very frustrating. Here's what I'm going to tell you, Titan. Titan, if you want to come to my classes, you can come to my classes. I want you to come, and I want you to watch. Let's say I want you to come and watch 5 times. 5 times. Come watch 5 times and listen. 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 Listen to the other questions. Listen to the other answers. Do not ask any questions. Just listen. I promise you, you will learn a lot more. Okay? No, you don't understand at all, Titan. You don't understand at all. You don't understand. I'm sorry. You're just not paying attention. There are so many other people here, but you're just dominating again. You're dominating. You need to learn how to... You need shyness. The other people were too shy. You need some shyness. You're too bold. You're too bold. I've already answered your question. Now I'm done. Next. Oh. All right. Why would you write your question 1,000 times? Why? Where did you learn that? Where did you learn that you should just keep writing something until someone talks to you? You should keep annoying somebody until they talk to you? That's what you learned is okay? What is that? No. Good Lord. Okay, if you're new and you're learning the language, follow me and you will learn many things. If you listen, use your ears, pay attention. 84,000 people asked me questions. 84,000 people asked me questions. So I answer a lot of questions. Maybe they are the same questions that you have if you just listen. Okay, get in one at a time. What's the real meaning? Amy, to get in one at a time without knowing any context, I would think that's like, for example, maybe you're at an amusement park and you're going on a roller coaster, okay? And on the roller coaster, you have to get in one at a time, which means one person gets on, and then the next person gets on, and then the next person gets on. One at a time. So you're getting in one at a time. All right? That would be an example of how that would work. Okay. I always work hard, but sometimes I feel life is meaningless. Well, you work hard doing what? Life might be meaningless if you're doing work that is meaningless. You found that I'm good at 4 examples? I try to be. You work out your mind every single day. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You train your mind by listening to me. Okay, that's one way. How can you work out your mind? Read, study, learn, watch videos from people who are smart. Don't watch just some guy on YouTube. Okay? All right? There are many other people, like, if you have a choice of listening to me or Bertrand Russell, you should listen to Bertrand Russell. If you have a choice of listening to me or Noam Chomsky, you should listen to Noam Chomsky. If you have a chance to listen to me or Plato, you should listen to Plato. Okay? So, the point is that I'm a teacher, but even I I look for people better than me. I always look for somebody who knows more. I'm always trying to learn more. Do I judge the following to be acceptable or not? Hello, Lily. He used to buy anything. She has yet read it. He was unhappy either. Either of them could do it. Either of them is here. She disliked him at all. He used to buy anything. Okay, he used to buy anything. Maybe I could think of a couple of weird contexts where that could work, but it's strange. You're right. It's a weird proposition. But maybe this is a person who went to, let's say he goes to a candy store every day, and he always buys candy. But he used to buy any candy at all. But now he only buys one, right? So you could say he used to buy anything. In that case, maybe that would work, but it's weird, right? She has yet read it? No, she has yet to read it? Maybe. Well, not maybe, yes, that would be correct. She has yet to read it, which means she has not yet read it. That's another way to say it. She has not yet read it. Okay? He was unhappy either? No, he was unhappy too. Either is for a situation when two things are possible and both are acceptable. Okay? And either of them could do it. Either of them could do it is okay. That one works. So if I say, who can do this, Brian or Joey? Either of them can do it. Or either of them could do it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Either of them is here. That one's weird. No, that one doesn't work. Either doesn't work in that situation. She disliked him at all also doesn't work. She disliked him completely. She disliked him totally. She disliked him she disliked him. Okay? Okay, next question. Do native speakers really use tenses like past perfect, present perfect, and future perfect? I always struggle to figure out when it's correct to use. Yes, we definitely do, Romana. There are some tenses in English that we don't use very often because they don't come up very often. But those three tenses are pretty common, especially past perfect and present perfect. But future perfect too, I would say. All right? What's my advice for practicing English conversation? Practice as much as you can. Make a plan for how you can practice. If you don't have a plan, then you can't be consistent. You can't do it all the time. All right? So, you should try to find a native speaker to talk to online or in person. That's step one. Try to find a native speaker. If you can't find a native speaker to practice with, then find a non-native speaker. Someone who's in your country, who's learning English like you. And they want to practice their English too. Just because their English is not perfect does not mean it's not good. So, if you can't find a native speaker to practice with, then find someone else, a non-native, to practice with. One of your neighbors or friends or co-workers. Okay? If you can't find a non-native person to learn with or to practice with, then you should find somebody who knows nothing and teach them what you know. Teaching is an amazing form of practice. So teach your neighbor, teach your daughter, teach your son, teach your mom, teach your dad, teach your boss. Teach whatever you know in English to someone else. It's great practice. And then, the fourth way to practice, if you can't find a native speaker, and you can't find a non-native speaker, and you can't find someone that you can teach, then just talk to yourself talk to your dog, talk to your cat, talk to the TV, talk to the mirror. Talk. All right, that's my advice for practicing English conversation. Okay, next. You're so confused about the words spotless, immaculate, and pristine. Don't be confused, Daffy. They are pretty much the same. Okay? If I say your room is spotless, your room is immaculate, your room is pristine, they all mean the same thing. They mean very clean. Okay? Immaculate could have a slightly different meaning. There is another religious meaning for immaculate, but even that one is still perfect. It's basically perfect. Okay? So, yeah, those words are pretty much interchangeable most of the time. Pristine and immaculate would be more formal. Okay? Okay, if you always raise your hand, sometimes this thing does not work, all right? I would say about 50% of the time when someone raises their hand, I don't see it. Okay? So, if you want to speak to me on stage, you should say, I raised my hand, may I come on stage, please? Repeat after me. I raised my hand, may I come on stage to ask you a question, please? I raised my hand, may I come on stage to ask you a question, please? I raised my hand, may I come on stage to ask you a question, please? Tell me that you raised your hand so that I know, because sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm talking, I'm answering a question, and then I go look and you've lowered your hand. Now you're not there anymore. You have to wait for me to finish answering questions. It's hard, I know. From my experience, shyness appears especially when I start speaking, but at the moment when I see misunderstanding and impatience on the listener's face. Okay, that's true. That's different, though. That's reactive shyness, Valerie. So, sure, sometimes when you speak to somebody, if they don't react well, then maybe it makes you a little scared, and that makes you shy. But that's not the kind of shyness I'm really talking about. I'm talking about the kind of shyness that you wanted to ask a question in class, but you didn't because you're too shy. That is missing an opportunity to learn. Okay? Hello, Hebe. I'm experiencing an embarrassing situation. Now you're living in an English-speaking country. You've been here for 1 year, but you don't have great improvement. It takes time. It takes time. But, Hebe, are you spending time with Chinese people the whole time? Sometimes when people move to another country, right? Like, I met some Chinese students here in my university, in my city, many years ago. I would go talk to them to practice my Chinese. But then I found out that this group of Chinese girls and boys, they never went out with anyone else. They only hung out together. So they're in America, but they spend all their time with Chinese people speaking Chinese. What is the point of coming to another country if you're going to spend all your time with your people, speaking your language, eating your food, doing your cultural things? That's weird. You moved to another country. You should take advantage of that. Okay? So, that's probably what's happening. You're not advancing very much because you're too comfortable in your group that's nice and comfortable, where you don't need English. You need to make yourself uncomfortable. Okay? It's hard. I know. I've done it. I have lived in another country where I don't speak the language, and I had to learn how. Okay, it takes time. Okay. Next question. Can Mo be a name? Yes, of course Mo can be a name. Sure, why not? Thank you, Thank you. You're not a shy person, George. Good. Zamir is not a shy person, but you start to speak, then you forget everything. Well, keep trying. Keep trying. More and more and more and more and more. Okay? All right, let's see. You caught a sore throat like me. I don't know. Maybe. Could be Ivan. Okay. Vicky wants to talk to me. Let's talk to Vicky. Hold on, one moment, Vicky. Vicky, are you there? Would you like to come talk to me? You have an internet connection problem. Well, but that's still not an excuse. If you know you have an internet connection problem, then you need to be more patient. You need to wait and see if your messages got through. I don't think you have an internet connection problem. I think you have a patience problem. Because you write your question and then you want me to answer it now. But I'm still talking to people from 10 minutes ago. I'm still answering questions from other people who were here before you. And you can't wait. So you write it again. And you write it again. And you write it again. And you write it again. I don't think you have an internet connection problem. I think you just don't wait. You want me to answer. As soon as you walk in the room, you want all of your questions answered. You need patience. Desperately. Okay, the thing I fear most when I go to the hospital is that the previous patient made the doctor angry. Ah, that's funny. I like that. Is that a Chinese saying? What is all the teeth and all ears? All ears just means I'm listening. If you say I'm all ears, it means I'm listening. What do you want to tell me? I'm all ears. I'm listening to you. All the teeth, I don't think I've heard that one. So, I have never heard that one actually used. Okay? I guessed what it means, but I've never heard it used. Now, it could be more popular in UK. Maybe it's a UK thing. So all the teeth means that you have like a very big smile, or it could mean that you're very equipped or capable of doing something. Like I'm all teeth, I can imagine would mean like I am capable of hurting you or capable of power or something like that. But I've never personally used that. I have used all ears. All ears is common. All right? Vicky, are you there? Let's try again, Vicky. I sent you an invitation. All right, and again, guys, I'm so sorry, but there are so many comments, it's hard for me to keep up and answer them all, okay? So there are so many comments that I wasn't able to read or answer, all right? And, you know, hey, guys, when I get upset every once in a while, that's not a bad thing. That's normal. It's okay. When the teacher tells you that you're doing something wrong, that's what a teacher is supposed to do. And behavior is one of the things that a teacher does help correct, right? Teachers help you learn about proper behavior in a group. And one of the things that you have to learn is to be patient and to listen and to let other people have time to ask questions. Don't dominate. You know? Okay. Can I recommend some books for B2 level? I can't, because there are too many. There are so many books at B2 level. And I don't know what kind of books you like. So what I can tell you is, if you ask that question to ChatGPT or Google, there are so many websites that have lists of books for levels. Like, you can just write recommended books for B2 level, and it will come up. There will be many websites that say, oh, here are a bunch of books about B2 level for you. And then you can look at them and say, oh, that one looks interesting. I want to try that. I can't recommend a book to you because I don't know what you like. Okay? You won't like what I like, maybe. Okay? Hello, Gabriel. Okay, can I tell you about learning English conversation and the resources that you... Khaled, go to my website, Khaled. Have you been to my website yet, everybody? Here is my website. If you go to my website and you subscribe, it's free. On my website, there is a link called Resources. Everything you need to practice speaking is there. Everything you need to practice writing is there. Everything you need for vocabulary, for grammar, it's all right there for free. Okay? Vicky, what's going on, Vicky? I've invited you on stage a bunch of times, but you haven't answered. Did you want to talk to me or not? You don't have to. Oh, there she is. Hello, Vicky.
Can I close my
Sure.
camera?
If you want to, you can. Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because there's some glitch with the camera, you know.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Yeah, I'm so excited, you know, Teacher Mark. Actually, I love your course so much, and I can say I love you so much. You are the best
Wow.
teacher.
You're
Because
too
you're
nice.
not only teaching the knowledge, the English, but also you're so wise in your ideas. Yeah, I think it's really great. It just struck me. Just like you say, you can teach someone who knows nothing about English. I think it's really a novel idea. I never thought about that before, you know. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, thank you for all your compliments. I appreciate that. The one thing that I want people to learn from me is that
Yeah.
I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not special in any way. So, what I have learned, the things that I know, anyone can learn those things. Anyone can do this. But they just haven't. That's it. It's not hard to learn the things I know. I'm not that special. It's not hard. It's just you have to try. That's all. That's all I want people to recognize. That's why I tell everybody, I'm just a drummer.
Or you're so versatile. Actually, I think you're so modest. I don't think everyone can do a good job. Yeah.
Well, everybody can do a good job, but not everybody can do a good job at everything. I'm not good at everything. There are lots of things I'm really bad at. But everybody has some things that they're good at, you know? But some people are not sure. Some people don't know what they're good at.
Yeah, but you know what I emphasize is your great points, your ideas, your novel ideas that can help people. So you're teaching the method. It's not only about the knowledge,
Yeah,
you know?
because the thing is especially English. The rules and all the facts and all the knowledge that has been around for a long time, and anyone can get it, and anyone can read it, and anyone can learn it. But it's the concepts. It's concepts that make you really understand something. If you learn facts but you don't understand the concepts behind the facts, then you just memorized a bunch of facts but you don't really understand them. Right? And that's the way a lot of people learn. A lot of people learn because that's what school taught us. School taught us that we shouldn't learn to understand. We should learn to pass the test. Because learning to understand takes too much time, and you don't have that time in school. So they make you take tests, and now you just have to pass the test. But after school, you should recognize and you should realize that learning is not about passing tests, it's about understanding. And that means you have to understand the concepts.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of truth actually, the school won't teach you. You have to learn it by yourself,
Well,
right?
sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially, it depends on where you go to school too. But yes, school, everybody, school is something that governments do because they have to. They need to make some kind of education that's available for everybody. But here's the one thing. Public education is for everyone, but your education is your personal responsibility. So that's why everybody who goes to school, there are some people who take more advantage of the school and what they learn, and there are some people who don't really care, don't really pay attention. And I was one of those. When I was in school, I didn't really. I had not learned patience yet. I had not learned. I had not learned the value of knowledge. I had not learned the value of learning yet. I took it for granted. I think most people do. You go to school every day, and it's there every day, and because it's there every day, you don't think it's special, you don't think it's important, and you feel like it's forced on you, like they're making you do it. But you don't understand that education is about developing you as a person. So school is just a way to help you get there faster. but school is not the thing that finishes developing you. You do. Your education is yourself. That's your goal, your mission in life. Oh no, we lost Vicky. Probably a bad connection or timing. I don't know. But personal responsibility is a critical, very important part of learning. It's your responsibility to learn. It's your responsibility to understand and grow and develop. It's your responsibility. But most people in school don't know. They don't realize yet that that education that's for you. So many people are like me. They don't learn the value of education until after school. I didn't learn the value of education until after I was out of school. But then I recognized that school is just the public way of learning. It's not the only way of learning. It's just one way. But there are many ways to learn. If you have a critical mind, you must have a critical mind, especially today, Because today, you can learn anything you want to, but not all of it is factually true. So I can go find an answer that I want. It might not be the right answer, but it's there on the internet. You can find somebody who believes anything. That doesn't make them all right. You have to think critically. Okay? All right, Vicky lost her time limit. That's okay. Let me just tell her very quickly. Let me just tell her she can come back next time. Okay, okay, there's no more people raising their hands, so I'm going to try to answer some more questions very quickly, okay? Ignorance breeds boldness, and such boldness is hardly worth mentioning. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that, Leo. You also read Noam Chomsky's work? Yes, he's a very famous linguist. Linguistics, yeah. All right, let's see. What's the difference between a carpet, a rug, and carpeting? So, carpet is usually wall-to-wall carpet, which means it goes from the wall all the way to the other wall, okay? Rugs usually are an area rug, which means it's a certain size, but it's not covering the entire room, okay? Rugs could be small. You know, they could be, you can look behind me. This rug, this carpet behind me, this is a rug, but underneath is carpet. So the carpet goes wall to wall. The rug is an area rug. All right? Carpeting is just the word we use to talk about carpet. Like, I'm going to look at carpeting today. Means I'm going to a carpet store to look at the different kinds of carpet. Okay? All right, let's see. Next question. I'm so sorry. I know I'm so behind on the comments. I'm trying to go faster. Good morning, Carlos. Hello. Wow, I can't keep up. Okay, I'm going to have to... There were many messages I did not read. I'm sorry, there are too many. So I'm going to have to skip some and just catch up here, okay? My left brain protects my right brain and the bladder replaces my brain. Oh, right. Linz is back. Linz, you've already been banned once. I'm already going to ban you again. Okay? You don't belong here. Go away. Hello Talk has already removed you, and I'm going to report you now, and you'll be removed again from Hello Talk. Okay? Goodbye. Can we study for astronauts? What do you mean, Alejandro? You're from Brazil? Hello from Brazil. Manas, I will not give a short intro. Go read my intro. It's on Hello Talk. Go read it. I'm drinking coffee. But talking level, reading level, and writing level are different. I'm not sure what you're referring to anymore, or what you're replying to. What's my opinion on the spread of artificial intelligence? I think it's here. I think that use it, because it's kind of pointless to debate whether it will kill us or not. If it's going to kill us, it's going to kill us. The genie is out of the bottle. The toothpaste can't be put back in. So what that means is it has a lot of negative aspects. There are so many negative aspects to AI. But all of the negative aspects of AI are out of your control because you don't own the AI. You are not in control of the AI. You don't run the AI. So all of the negative things, you can talk about them all you want, but it doesn't do any good because your opinion doesn't mean anything. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything. So you can vent. You can talk about how you feel. That's fine. But if you have no control over the negative aspects of AI, then maybe you should just focus on using the positive aspects while it's here. It's already here, so just use it. Just find the ways to use it well. Every generation has new tools that they must learn to use well. AI is just a new tool. It's a tool that might kill us, but it hasn't yet. Okay. You want to know how professional people introduce themselves verbally. Manas, I'm sorry that if you thought I was rude, but I don't introduce myself because I'm here every day, and I have been here every day for 5 years. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. Everybody knows who I am on Hello Talk. All right? I have a profile. You can read it, and it's written well. It will tell you how to introduce yourself. Okay? Sometimes I even teach about introductions. Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. Nice to meet you. I'm from the United States. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I teach English, but I am also a drummer and musician. And I also love to cook and travel, and I speak Chinese. There's an introduction. Okay? Okay, Jean Rocha. If I'm speaking too fast for you sometimes, that's okay. Listen and understand what you can. All right? Listen and understand what you can. All right, let's see. Have I ever been to Malta? No, I have not. I would love to come to mainland China sometime. How can you say long words in short? There is no answer for that. That is something that takes practice and something that requires a lot of vocabulary and something that requires a lot of creativity. To be able to think about one thing using many words, that requires a lot of vocabulary and a lot of creativity. Okay? Where did people come from? Earth. Last I checked, people come from Earth. Okay, next question. What's my job? 我是英文老师，同时也是我是鼓手。如果我可以做的，我可以做的。If I can do it, then I will do it. Who made me ungrateful? Am I ungrateful because I didn't answer that question? Maybe I am. Malta is a Mediterranean country. I know. I was answering two different people. One person was talking about China, you were talking about Malta. I know Malta is not in China. Hello, Belen, how are you? How are all of your new businesses? Why am I interested about Chinese culture? I don't know. I'm interested in culture. I know about a lot of cultures, not just Chinese. I like Earth. This is the place we live. Earth has many interesting cultures, but Earth has one race: humans. So I learn about human cultures, any human culture. So I like African culture because it's human culture. I like Chinese culture because it's human culture. I like American culture because it's human culture, and Spanish culture because it's human culture, and German culture because it's human culture. I live on Earth. Don't you? Okay, where did the Earth come from? Jack wants to be deep today. Um, Stardust. That will be my answer. We are all stardust. What time do I broadcast every day? Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm busy. Sometimes I don't feel like teaching. But I usually am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Ruby, I'm usually here in the morning in America, which is the evening in China. Okay? How to become a fast learner with languages. I don't know because I don't learn anything fast. I learn well. I don't care about fast. I never care about learning fast anymore. I want to learn well only. Okay? Learning fast is never a good choice. That's my experience. Okay? You forget vocabulary in 2 or 3 days. That's because you're not thinking in English. Why not start thinking in English? If you think in English, then you never forget the words because you're using the words all the time. Just start thinking in English. Laura, 我知道。可是很多人他们可以用英文，可是他们感觉他们是要说的，不是要说的。你需要想的，可是说的不需要。所以现在我就在美国，可是我可以练习想的。听得懂吗？You have found animal names that you can use as verbs, like slang, like rat out. Yes, that's true. Yeah, there are some that you can say, like rat out is a good one. That's true. Yeah, that's a slang term. You think only in English. Good for you, Majda. Good for you. he didn't do it because he was angry can mean either because he was angry, he didn't do it, or... wait a minute. I'm trying to understand, Larry. Yeah, it has two meanings. It could mean the anger was not the reason why he did it. That could be one meaning, is the anger was not the reason. But the other way you could say is, he didn't do it because at the time he was angry. So, for example, maybe you have to, let me think of some good situation. You have to say you're sorry to your mom, right? You have to say you and your brother did something bad. And now you have to say you're sorry to your mom. And you have to say it nicely. And so one of you has to say it. But he's angry. So he didn't do it because he was angry. Meaning I said I'm sorry for both of us. I said I'm sorry to our mom because... he was angry. It wouldn't be good if he said it. It won't sound good, right? Because he's angry. So it could have two interpretations. Yeah. But I think that the first interpretation I would think would be that the anger was not the reason. That would be my most the first interpretation I would assume. Okay. Let's see. Why do we say on the bus and in the car? Yeah. On the bus, use on anytime you're talking about a large form of transportation. Okay? And the reason why is if you think about the past. Okay? Let's think about 500 years ago. 500 years ago, were there any planes? No. Were there any cars? No. Were there any boats? Yes. And when you get on a boat, it's a kind of transportation. You're on it, right? So the word on originally comes from boats, because you walk onto the boat, right? You get on it, right? But then we started using the word on to talk about any kind of large transportation like buses or planes. You're on the plane, you're on the bus. Okay? But if it's a small form of transportation, you're in the car. Okay? Because you have to get inside of it and it's smaller. Okay? All right. If you speak this sentence in a single intonation with fall, rise on angry. Right, that's right, Larry. Intonation will make a difference. That's right. You're trying to improve your Spanish skills, but you feel you're not good as your English. What should you do with that? Nora, you can try to double your languages. So, whatever if you know something in English, then learn it in Spanish. So, try to look at your English language and then figure out, do I know how to say this in Spanish too? Do I know how to say this in Spanish too? Use your English as a way to practice both English and Spanish, right? At the same time. How many hours do I usually stream? Usually 2 hours or so, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes longer. Okay? How can I pronounce the past of verbs that end with voiceless sounds? Oh, you mean ED words. So, Carlos, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about ED words that have 3 different ways of pronouncing them, right? There are 3 different ways to pronounce ED words. Here it is right here. Wait a moment. Let me see here. Open with photos. Take a look at this, Carlos. Take a picture Take a screenshot, Carlos. Look at this. This is what you need, Carlos. ED words have 3 different pronunciations. If the word ends with T or a D, then it's ID. Wanted, needed, id. Wanted, needed. Okay? That's the T or D words. If it ends with a P, K, S, H, C, H, G, H, T, H, S, S, C, or X, then the letter sounds like a T. So helped, looked, washed, watched, laughed. T. But if it ends with an L, N, R, G, V, S, W, Y, or Z, then it sounds like a D. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged. Okay? And exaggerate the end the way I am. Exaggerate them when you're practicing them. Okay? So take a picture of this, the voiceless and voiced ED sounds. Okay? And you can touch your throat to feel it if you aren't sure if it's voiced or voiceless. All right? All right. Okay. Hello, Lion. Zaki, how are you? How can you learn English speaking? Make a plan. If you want to learn something, you need a plan. Sit down, make one. You know what you need to do, but you need to sit down and write it down. Then you'll see what you need to do. What's my secret of how to gain motivation to learn a language? There is no secret to motivation to learning a language. If you want to learn it, you will learn it. That is the way motivation works. You have to want it. So, why are you learning English or German or French or Spanish? Why? What's your reason? Raison d'etre, right? What is your reason for doing that thing, right? If you have reasons, you have motivation. So think about your reasons. What's your best way for learning vocabulary? By listening, reading, learning words one by one. My best way to learn vocabulary, number 1, read. Easiest way to learn vocabulary, reading. Number 2, get a thesaurus. Go to that website, check it out, thesaurus.com. Practice using a thesaurus. Explore vocabulary. Explore the words you know to find the words you don't know. That's a thesaurus. Number 3, learn words by topic. By topic. Choose a topic like sports, and then find all the vocabulary words about sports. Choose a topic like computers, find all the vocabulary words about them. Choose a topic like government, find all the words about government. By topic is important because when they're related by topic, you can remember them because they're connected. Okay? And then the final way to learn vocabulary is called etymology. It means find the meaning, the original meaning, the history of the word. That's what it means. It means the history of the word. If you find the history of the word, it can often tell you many, many good things that are easy to remember. Okay? And if you want to, here, guys, I have an article that I wrote here. This is my blog. If you go to this article and read it, that is my best answer about how to learn vocabulary. Read that article. Okay? Why do you say at school but in the hospital? Well, we do say at the hospital sometimes, but when you say in the hospital, it implies that you are there because you're sick, so you have to stay in the hospital. But at school, you don't stay at school. You go to school for a small time period to learn, and then you go home. So, unless you're in, that's why in the UK they say in university, because you do go move there. You move, you live at the university. So you are in university, right? You're staying there. So if it's staying there for only a short time, it's at. If it's staying there for a long time, it's in. In this case. Do I often hear the idiom pie in the sky? I wouldn't say often, but I wouldn't say not often, right? So, yeah, I've heard it. It's not super common, but I wouldn't say, oh, no, nobody ever uses that. Okay? It's hard for you to pronounce the I sound? Why? So, very quickly, for all the Chinese people, 大家听我，如果你说中文，中文用很小的嘴 ，OK， 如果你说中文就是很小的嘴，可是如果你说英文，英文用很大的好大的嘴，所以如果你用小的嘴说英文，说不好的。Okay? If you speak Chinese, Chinese is a small mouth language. American English is a big mouth language. That's the difference. Okay? You speak English perfectly, but you're listening. Well, thank you, Emmy. Yes, reading, thesaurus, topic, and etymology. Etymology. For etymology, if you are interested in etymology, you can go to this website, etymonline.com. It's a free etymology dictionary. It's a little difficult. So etymology is maybe only for intermediate to advanced learners. Okay, if you're a beginner, etymology might be too hard for you. Okay? Should I pronounce English with your throat? Well, yeah, some sounds are made with the throat and some are not. It depends on the sound, right? Like, for example, the TH. The TH sound has two sounds, voiced and unvoiced. For example, if I say, thank you, that's unvoiced. There's a blowing air sound, but there's no buzzing, right? Thank you. But the word this, that, these, those words have the voiced TH sound. And if you put your fingers right here, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Okay? All right, guys, I have been here for 1 hour and 37 minutes, and I'm getting a bit tired. But before I go, I will tell you that I am Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I have been on live streaming on Hello Talk for 5 years. I have 84,000 followers on HelloTalk. They follow me because I teach English regularly, and I'm serious about it. Okay? I have done more than 1,200 live streams. I have done more than 2,000 hours of teaching for free here. I have a website. Here is my website. If you go to my website, you can subscribe. And there are many free resources for studying English on my website. I also have a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, start watching, start listening, start writing notes, make notes, okay? I also have a blog. There's my blog, okay? So I have a website, I have a YouTube, I have a blog, all right? Can you learn English from movies? Sure, you can, but if that was the best way, if that were the best way, then why don't they do that in school? When you want to learn French in school, do they let you watch French movies? When you want to learn German in school, do they just put German TV on? When you want to learn Chinese, do they just put Chinese TV on and say, watch Chinese TV? No. No. Okay? Laura, 不好意思，可是 I can't help you with that. Okay, that's not, I don't control the internet, all right? But some of those websites are, my website maybe you can't open. Some Chinese people can open my website, some people can't. YouTube, 如果你要看 YouTube, 你知道你需要用梯子, right? But, my blog, I think my blog, most people can read it. But if you can't, I'm sorry, but I can't help that. Okay? Do people still say, how do you do, or is how are you doing more common? Yeah, I think still people say, how do you do? I think so, yeah. How are you doing is more common, but I still think some people say, how do you do? When they're meeting somebody. It's more formal, right? If I go to a nice party, right, and I'm meeting some new people, I might say, how do you do? My name is Mark. It's more formal, right? If I go to a party with my friends that's just hanging out and it's not formal, then how are you? Okay? Why are some letters silent in English? Well, that's because many words in English comes from many languages. 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 30% of English words come from French. French people love silent words, or silent letters, 20% of English words come from German. We have a lot of English words that come from Norse. We have a lot of English words that come from Arabic and Hindi and Persian and Chinese and Japanese. So when you combine all of those languages, it makes it confusing about the pronunciation. And some words, the pronunciation has changed. So for example, the word though, T-H-O-U-G-H, though. That's a weird word, right? Why do we spell it that way? Why? O-U-G-H is just O? There's no pronunciation of all those letters? There's a reason why. Because a long time ago, the pronunciation was different. A long time ago, the word though was pronounced thoh. Thoh. It had this almost Arabic sound, right? That sound. So, that's why the GH at the end of the letter, at the end of the word, that sound was that sound, all right? But for some reason, and no one knows why, nobody knows why, really, look it up. People have studied it for many years, but nobody knows why the pronunciation of English suddenly changed overnight. There were so many sounds that changed. There are many theories about why it changed, but nobody's really sure. But the word though, we keep the pronunciation, or I'm sorry, we keep the spelling that way because it helps us remember where it comes from. This word comes from Old English German. When I see those OUGH letters, I know, oh, well, that's where that's from. KN. KN words like no and knife, those are usually Northern European Norse. Because, for example, if you go to Finland or you go to Sweden or Norway, maybe you'll meet a guy named Knut. Knut. K-N-U-T-E. Knut. They still pronounce it with the K-N. Knut. But we changed the pronunciation so that the word is not knife, it's knife. It's not kno, it's no. And that's etymology. If you know where the words come from, it can help you understand why we spell it that way, why we pronounce it that way, what it originally meant. Okay? Persian versus English, which would be the oldest language? Persian is much older than English, but there are languages older than Persian too. The history of language is a very complicated story, but there's a point where it does become kind of... Sanskrit is definitely one of the oldest, yes, right? But there's a whole bunch of languages that we call them PIE languages. PIE means Proto-Indo-European languages. So there was a whole group of languages that developed a long time ago that were not really written languages, most of them, right? So language becomes a little bit difficult because writing didn't happen for everybody at the same time, right? So Sanskrit was written a long time ago. Cuneiform from the Sumerians was written a long time ago. But, for example, the Vikings, most of their history was not written. It wasn't written down. So it's a little complicated sometimes to look at the history of languages. Right, if your memory serves you right, the K pronounced in knife in Old English, right? That's right, knife, right? That's what I mean. The spellings and the pronunciations, they change over time. Okay. Russia is Viking. Kind of. Yeah, they're certainly related. Like the history of that whole Northern European Russo area is very complicated. If you have to remember that there was a time period where we didn't really have countries. We didn't really have borders the way we know them now. And so we had cultures that were mixing all over the place. The borders were a lot more undefined. Okay? Do I know about Kurdish language? I know a little bit. I know there are 3 Kurdish languages, right? If I remember correctly. I think there are 3. Right? That's right. Night is another one. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. 4. Oh, 4. Okay, I thought it was 3, but I guess I've remembered wrong. 4. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah. There's a Kurdish restaurant right near me. It's really good. It's called Layla. And it's a great Kurdish-Turkish restaurant right near me. Okay, let's see. Is listening to podcasts good for learning English? If you listen to good podcasts, then yes. Your German learning is so weak you can't understand German speakers? It takes time, Zaki. It takes time. What is rhetoric? Rhetoric is the art of speaking. Rhetoric is the art of speaking. It's not really taught that well anymore. It used to be. The Greeks were big on rhetoric. Okay, guys, I'm kind of tired. I need to go here soon. So before I go, here's one more. This is my article about vocabulary. Go read this article about vocabulary, and it will tell you about vocabulary. If that is difficult, if it's hard for you, copy the article and ask ChatGPT to help you understand it. All right? Can you learn from Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, and Shakira? You can, sure. But you need to remember that songs don't care about grammar. So when you learn English in songs, it might have a lot of slang, it might have a lot of mistakes, grammatical errors, things that are acceptable in common language that are not acceptable on a test. So if you learn from songs, sure, you can learn a lot of things about language from songs. But you need to remember that songs are art, and art doesn't care about the rules. Okay? Bye, Jaja. Teach some history courses. I would love to, but I'm not. I love history, and I study history. But I respect history too much. So I don't feel I'm qualified. I don't feel that I'm good enough to teach history. I know a lot about history. I love history. I study it often. But I would not call myself a history teacher. I had some issues. I couldn't complete my high school now. I was thinking to complete my high school, but my age is 21. Do you think I'm too old? No, you are never, ever too old to get a degree. Zenzi, I just got my college degree a few years ago, and I just turned 50. There is no logic at all about going to school only when you're young. There is no logic to that at all. You should go to school anytime you feel you are ready to go to school. Okay? All right. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I got to go. I got to take a break. I'm hungry. I need to take a break. So you'll have to come back another time if you have more questions. Okay? Let me go over here and double check. Miguel, hello, Miguel. Talk about contractions. Do we use them? Yes, we use them. Cannot, can't. Do not, don't. Those are contractions. So yes, we use them. Yeah. Did not, didn't. Okay? Yes, we use them. Do we pronounce the T at the end of words? It depends on the word, but yes, we do. Okay? And guys, here's the other thing you need to remember. There are 330 million people in America. 330 million people. And only about 1% of them pronounce English perfectly well. So 330 million people speak English, but only 1% of them speak it really carefully. Only 1% of them pay attention to their correct grammar and pronunciation all the time. Okay? So if you heard somebody, just because you heard that doesn't mean that that's correct. There's a teacher, for example, there's a teacher on Facebook that I saw. She's an American teacher. She teaches English, and she was teaching about the pronunciation of words and how she said the word important should be important. Many, many Americans now are pronouncing the word important as important. And I hate it. I think it's terrible. And I'll tell you why. Because that is not the way to pronounce the word. They're just using a lazy mouth. If you enunciate, then the T is very clear. And if you know where the word important comes from, then you know what are imports, everybody? The word import. What is an import? What is an import? This is going to be my last thing I'm going to teach today. Anybody? Imports. What are imports? The opposite of export. That's correct, right? But so then it means something crucial. That's right. It means the things that your country needs to buy. They don't have them, so they need them. So they are important. That's how I know that the pronunciation should be important. This is very important. Now, I could also say this is very important. And you will hear many, many Americans. I would say a good 300 million Americans now. They probably say the word important. Duh, not ta-ta-ta. I still say they're wrong. I still say that the proper pronunciation is still important. Listen to me, this is important. That's not hard to do. You just have to enunciate. But many, many people do not enunciate when they speak. All right? So there is a good example of how etymology can help you. Because etymology, the word important comes from the word import. Because imports are important. You're still confused about the flap T. Okay, I'm going to tell you one trick. Forget about the flap T. I don't want you to pretend that it's different. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember that English words often have two pronunciations. For example, the word butter. If I say the word butter slowly, then it's a hard T. Butter. T-t-t-ter. Right? But when you speed that word up, that hard T gets cut in half. It's too fast. The word goes too fast. So there's no time to make a hard T. So what they do is, I want you to think about the word T is two parts, right? The letter T is right here in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off the front of it. So now you just have the back part of the T. That is a flap T. It's basically just a T that's a lazy T. It's the half pronounced T. All right? So, when you say it slowly, it's butter. Butter. But when you say it quickly, butter, 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 butter. Okay? Yeah, water, water, water. That's a hard T. But water, water, water. When it's faster, the T gets cut in half. So you only hear the back half of the T. That is the flap T. Okay? That's right, when it's fast. When it's fast, it's a D. When it's fast, it's a D. Okay? When it's slow, it's a T. All right, I must go. It has been 2 hours. I have to go. All right? Come back and see me next time, mate. All right? All right, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you live. I'll see you next time. Bye. Kalfin for Kalfin. Yeah, I remember that one.